Hey everyone, it's finally time to showcase the product I've been working on, which is a market data analytics platform. And without further ado, let's get into it. And I'll just show how I use it. Seems to be like the best way to show what it can do. So first of all, we have the market overview here, in which we classify tickers with notable activity based on moneyness, meaning how deep or out of the money they are, and by type, obviously, so calls, puts, and so on. And just to showcase what it can do, like for example, we have CVX here. We can click this, and it shows the contract that have triggered the signal here. And we can see that it's a lot of in the money puts, meaning it's dividend activity most likely. And basically, we verify various thresholds of activity and a volume or premium for each contract and assign it. And if it meets certain criteria, it's put in this bucket. And we have, for example, here 8 contracts. Cumulatively, they were 54% of the day's volume, and they totaled $142 million. And we look at some other stuff here, for example, Google. This one seems interesting, like 577 days, so June 2027, 13 million. But Voloi is 100, basically 97. We can click that and see the contract history based on stock price, based on IV as well. And this looks like a close, like they opened here on November 6th, 22 million. And here they took a bit off for 12 million. And now I think they closed everything. So they took the opportunity from yesterday when Google popped to get out, and it was like 22.5. This is 12 and 13. They got out for like 25 million, so 3 million profit. But seems strange to get out this quickly. Um, then we have top premium days. So basically, we check end of day values based on volume and premium and multiply it, and basically we get top premium days, meaning a specific day in a stock's history had the most premium volume on a closing basis for compared to all other days that ticker had traded options. And we have a coin with number one here, which we have a bleed program going. We show this breakdown of total premium by in the money, out of the money calls and puts, and by DT. And we see that most of it is for DT. This suggests to me that we also got beta with the same type of activity like for DT in the money puts. We had MSTR for the for DT in the money puts. Hood, not this, but whatever. Point is, we have this 4DT contracts, and until these contracts expire and we see what's up with that, I don't think the market will recover. So we still have 4 days of pain, meaning this week to ahead of us, based on this type of activity. Now, let's say I want to go into details. I click coin. I go here with the ticker explorer. We have multiple tabs here and various data points. We have open interest change compared to the previous day, sorted by volume. We have the same moneyness breakdown that we do in the other part, but it only shows for the sticker. We have historic data for everything. Like you can go back to 2007 and look at data and see how it played out afterward. Then we have top premium dates for the ticker as well. Specifically, we sorted by date by default, so you get the latest signals uh, first. You get premium, you get rank. You can click on it and you see the contract. You see the breakdown by premium as well, like this and this. And we can see that there's a lot of activity on coin here from the last couple of days. They all Because of this huge in the money put activity, everything is distorted and we get lots of high premium days. Okay, we have positioning. We get the OI. Then we have OI broken down by contract. So each bar here is a specific contract. We sort them in the tooltip by count, and you can actually click any segment you want and you will get the contract history for that segment as well, and zoom in. You can also maximize them to see what they do, but let's say I want to see what this smallish purple segment is, and I click on it and it's for coin 420 C for January 2026. If you follow the data and the color coding in the tooltip, you can find it as well, but it's easier to just click on it and see what it is. Also breakdown by expiration. So one is by in the money, after the money, uh, OI, broken down by type and expiration, and say this is delta. We plan to add more stuff here. I won't tell you about it right now. Then we have volume, same kind of thing, general volume overall, and broken down by contract. We click this, we see the bleed program thing, and by expiration as well. In area of interest, remember when I did this type of chart here, like, but it wasn't quite understandable. So this area of interest one is the expanded version of it. And let's go to coin. And we have three layers here. So three levels, 20%, 0.2, 50%, 0.5, and 0.8. And how you should be reading this is when you get large OI levels and when you cross certain thresholds, uh, things will become resistance less support. So for example, when you cross over under 0.2, you get into deep oversold, or when you go over 0.8, you go into deep overbought. And basically, let's say coin keeps dropping. Well, once it gets to 200, which is this level here, you get a major support level. So I would expect coin does a sizable bounce when we get below it. Like we had this horizontal level, you will see it on the chart, which I were I to draw a horizontal level, this would be it. And lo and behold, it is 300. And it's also the 50% level. Like you notice that when we went below 300, we crossed over into negative territory. So the stock is basically now in a bearish mode, and we still have some supports here, like maybe 250 is a support, but not a very strong one. Basically, if we go below 250, we will go all the way to 200. It may bounce here, we'll see. And like I said, we still have this week to bear through, but it doesn't mean that it will immediately find support afterwards. Point is basically resistance here, major one at 400, midpoint is 300, and we went below it, and now we go to either to 250 or to 200 over the next couple of weeks. And the major thing here is that we show it compared to the chart, and it's easy to correlate these things with major levels as well when you see it on the chart. And finally, we have historic. And the major innovation I think we bring to the table is that all these signals that you see in overview and in the market overview are now visible on the chart directly as well. So TPD is the black one here with the number inside it, and the number tells you what rank day that was. You can also click any one of these and it will open up the pop-up. Then you can see the contract. You can add contracts to favorite to keep track them further, and so on and so on. Or you can, this is like deep in the money puts. This is out of the money calls. Every icon is color coded based on what it does, and you will be able to track based on that. Calls are above and TPD is top premium days is above. Puts are always below the candle. And this way you can basically see like accumulation, distribution kind of periods, and all that stuff. Like for example, the way you see this, let me show you Lulu with the bleed program it has, and how it's been bleeding for a very very long time. Like all these red candles here, not candles, red markers here, it's been going on for quite a long time. Or UNH, when it was saved by the it was under a bleed program, but got saved by the Buffett buy, and it went back into a slight bleed program here. Or IBIT, I'll just leave the TPD icons on so you can disable them by type if you want to. And we have stuff like number one, number three, number one here as a cluster, and went down from here, went up, went slightly above but got rejected again and went down. And when we went higher as well, we got the number 2 day here, and again as a cluster of various TPD days, and we've been going down ever since, although we tried to we had a few deep buys. But when you put it into context like this, like for example this area here, uh, it very much starts to look like distribution, like the price reaction, the fact that every time it tries to go up, we get TPD days, even though the activity may not match this. It's still notable to know when you get this type of days here as well. So this is kind of everything we showcase. Also have like this is the positioning indicator, and we are at all-time low for IBIT, custom positioning indicator, so 0.7. And going to market breadth, this is our market breadth indicator, and what it does is we use that rank positioning that we have, and we look at every stock in the market, and like 700, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, I don't know how many we have, but many thousands, and we just count the ones that are in positive positioning rating and in negative positioning rating, and this is the delta. And basically this is a good bottom indicator. uh, Here, like when we get to certain levels of red, let's call it, uh, we we tend to bottom out, and this is irrelevant of stock price. Like stock may be high, price may be low. It's just a matter of getting oversold, just your standard breadth indicator. For tops, it's more like a divergence, like for example topping out while this going lower and lower. We went into negative yesterday, and I expect when we do eventually bounce, because we will eventually bounce, we would do another negative divergence like we do here, or like we had in 2021, or even here, like mega negative divergence all the way uh, to rising. So I expect we will see this as well. Then let's continue on. This is the positioning. If you want to simulate a positioning, like for example, you don't want to see what's coming up next. So you choose the date, let's say yesterday, because that's the day we have data on, the last date we have data. And I want to see what positioning would look like starting March. And I choose first expiration day after the March OPEX and no other expiration. And I run. And this will show me the SPY positioning, but only contracts after this date. Uh, then we have the options scanner, and we use various thresholds here. This is the one I use to search for stocks every day. Generally, volume over 2000, premium over 500k, min DT over 20, and vol over Y greater than 50. And I go through, like we have 400 contracts here. I go through all of them, filter out the ones I think are notable, and post them. And what I do is generally I mark them as favorites and then review them. Like go this, you see them as favorites, they appear at the top of the list, and I go through the history, try to understand what happened with that contract. If it's a new contract, like new position, like here, OI before 850 and 10,000 now, or if it's existing OI, for example, I posted this APP flow yesterday, and let's try to understand what happened here. So we got an OI increase, but we had very large activity again. So this suggests that they it was either very a short call that they took profit on already, so they bought at 28 and they sold at 19, or they were actually long, but they saw the behavior of the market yesterday and they took a loss. So this is either a short call taking profit or a loss take on a long call position. So I will be posting this one today as a follow-up to see what happens. And everything I added, when you add a contract here, you also get, sorry, in favorites. When you add the contract in favorites, you'll also get the trade date to know when you added it. For example, I added this one on the 7th of November. This is a recent add to this. And you can track the contract with how it performed afterwards. So yeah, this is kind of the whole setup. This is the Contract Explorer if you want to look for a specific contract manually, like for a specific date, for a specific expiration, strike, and type. So we will be releasing this one by end of year. It will be paid, but I will post the details of how to uh, get an account later on, or most likely post on Reddit and whatnot. Uh, yeah, I think it's very good in my opinion, but I made it. I think we are best in class in usability. Once you get used to and know where things are, you will be able to go. Basically, you get the information you need very quickly. Everything is clickable, everything is navigable between, and you get a lot of information that is filtered and not a lot of the noise. Because the problem with Flow is like 99.999% of the data you get from options activity is completely irrelevant, is garbage. But at the same time, you don't really want to rely on live flow because live flow doesn't give you the context. To give an example, I'll just click a random stuff here and go to volume. Like you may see activity here, but maybe it was actually a combo trade. Like they sold this one and they bought this one or something like this. And you don't get that context very well from live flow because the orders might be offset and whatnot. So things get very complicated when you don't see the bigger picture. And plus, following live flow is very, very tiring. I tried it a couple of times. It never stuck with me because it fucks my eyes a lot, and plus it's a very boring thing to do. I would rather just get things at the end of the day, look through it, analyze it on my own time outside of market hours, and just do plays that are more longer term focused. Okay, that's it. Hope you guys liked it. I'll give more details as we get closer to release. Have a good one. Bye bye.